Students, educators, and activists from Boston Education Justice Alliance rallied in front of the Bolling Building in Roxbury before meeting with Boston Public Schools about their outrage at the news of 4 high-needs BPS schools closing, leaving students, teachers, and school communities at a loss.
At the Community Academy of Science and Health, 90% of our students are termed high needs by the State Department of Education. 40% are English language learners, 30% are students with disabilities, many of whom have been really impacted by the policies of the federal government of late. And so to try to close the school at this time when families are under the pressure of draconian immigration enforcement, cuts in SNAP benefits, it's really putting a lot of pressure on families that are in need.
Passionate community members from the Henderson School, another course to college, Lee Academy, and the Community Academy of Science and Health are all concerned about the potential for students to not receive their ADA or dual language accommodations at these new schools.
ACC serves a specific group of students, especially when it comes to students that need more services and special supports. And now they're not going to be able to get those services and special supports. So the question we've been asking, and they haven't had good answers to, what's going to happen with these students? Who's going to be there for them?
When they close down schools like the Lee Academy, they're closing down schools that have a lot of diversity. That is actually one of the best school experiences I have had, because BLS, it is crowded, and then not many people know my name, whereas at the Lee Academy, I am acknowledged as a person and accepted, and then also I see people who look like me.
Many of the students at these schools have already been moved around in the last year, and with this new set of closures, they will have to start all over again, and this time with less support.
Closing schools that help out kids that are in need, whether they are economically disadvantaged, whether they are kids with special needs, whether they are kids that English is not their first language, is personally a disaster. You can't keep consistently moving these children to different schools and other schools and expect them to perform well. And then be shocked when they don't perform well and then go, oh, what are we doing wrong? You know what you're doing wrong. You are willfully moving kids around without the knowledge of who they are as people or what they need to improve upon.
All of these schools, specifically the high schools, are serving a disproportionate amount of students with disabilities, students with IEPs with very specific learning needs. Many of these students were actually transferred to the schools proposed for closure within the last year or two. So closing these programs, closing these schools will adversely affect them, affect their well-being, and interrupt their education, as well as lead BPS to be out of protocol with federal laws.
Boston Education Justice Alliance, or BJA, organized the rally in order to raise awareness around the continued issue of BPS school closures.
With this process that Boston Public School is going through to minimize or to downsize, is hurting vulnerable communities, especially these schools that are all located in Dorchester with high concentrations of Black and Latino students, as well as students who are ELL and students of special needs. And we see this process only furthering those gaps in both performance and in achievement.
As a teacher, we have no barriers to entry, so we take students all along the school year. Many of them are coming from schools that have already closed, so to find out that the school is closing again is incredibly devastating for these students to say, I don't matter, they just keep closing schools that I'm going to. Where am I going to go next year?
And inside the meeting, students who have a deep love for their school communities testified before the district to implore BPS schools to continue prioritizing high-needs students.
In school, my classmates mostly speak in English with me. I believe being bilingual is better for me and other kids like me. Being able to understand and use both English and Mandarin is important to me because I'm proud of where I come from and who I am.
I am in the Azul program for students with autism. At Cash, I have taken and passed Spanish and French, and I want to go to college. I also do a lot of job training at our cafe. I participate in Best Buddies as well. Cash is my home. Cash is my family. It is sad to hear that you want to break up my home,